Hello, this is my Blinkblade review for the Frosthaven board game. This review assumes you have basic knowledge of the game. First, we'll cover the Blinkblade special rules, then my starting items. Then we'll review all cards in a sort of tier list format, then the perks, and then lastly, I'll show you how to get 22 attacks in one turn using the level 9 Blinkblade. Okay, special rules. When selecting cards to play for the round, declare slow to gain a time token, declare fast to use a time token. You start each scenario with one token. If you have two or more tokens, you can't gain another one by going slow. You can have up to 5 tokens by other means. So if you play another card that I'll describe later, for example. Green and orange abilities, effects, modifiers must be added to the action. Green when fast, orange when slow. New abilities that are added this way, they must be performed if able. So, for example, hit and run top, it gives you, if you're going fast, it gives you a move to ability. You have to perform that ability because it's a new ability that it gives you. If it's an existing ability, like the top of blurry jab, the attack 3, and then it's enhanced by going fast or slow, you can still skip that ability because it's just a regular ability that's being enhanced. Effects, they can also be skipped. So again, top of blurry jab, you got an attack 3. If you're going fast, you add a +1 to the attack and a wound and XP. You could skip the wound. It's considered mandatory to add it to the attack, but once you perform the attack, you could choose to skip the effect. Starting items, Poison Dagger, which is going to be good for many small attacks that the Blinkblade will have through their career. Wing Shoes for better positioning. It's just, I found it just completely invaluable. Being able to put myself over an obstacle to get next to a certain enemy. Uh, it's just, yeah, there's never like a scenario where I'm like, I should have gotten a different boots or something like that. For the craftable items, these are like kind of like the starting within the starting mix of craftable items. Crude helmet, I just like to play defensively, and this I was in a two-player party, so a lot of times you're just in a position where you need to take hits. So um, the crude helmet treats incoming critical hits or 2 times um, modifier cards as +1s. Um, Mainly for the archer attacks, those sometimes you just cannot avoid those, and they hit pretty hard in the game. So if they pull it ×2, it's just a lot of times early on, especially it's a lost card for you. The traveling cloak, that seemed to be the best option, I thought, again, for more defense, just getting that one more hit point. Um, Again, it's prevented some cards from being lost to negate damage. All right, for the card review, I'm going to use this tier maker to build a list. At the top is going to be obviously the S tier. I describe it as tactician because there's a build guide I'll link in the description that was made by someone who tested the class and helped kind of create it to be what it is. Very good guide. I suggest you're reading it. They mention tactician build, a slow blade, and a nova blade. Um, so I mean, I didn't go verbatim for their tactician build, but very closely resembles that kind of play style. So basically, you're just um, not really burning a lot of cards. You're trying to be very smart about how you play defensively and offensively, and from turn to turn, when to go slow, when to go fast, and making the most out of your cards. And this is from a 2-player party composition. So at the top, we got S tier would be considered cards that I'm going to bring all the time, no matter what level I am, 1 through 9. Next level down, tier A is going to be very high value cards, and then at the low level, a must bring. B is going to be good value cards still, maybe some situational cards. Then low value on the next tier, and including some extremely situational cards. And then finally, the last tier is going to be a card that maybe not be good for the tactician build, but would be for considered good for a slow blade. All right, first up, Blurry Jab, fantastic card. Gonna bring this pretty much all through like lower levels. Top is like pretty much our strongest like single target attack for a while. So yeah, you get like 4 attack, going fast, plus a wound. Most of the time, it's going to be 5 damage, and you get an experience. You'll see that for like the early cards, you'll only get experience when you go fast. Even then, it's only with select abilities. The slow on the top, I've never used that. Now the initiatives, 20 when you go fast, 50 when you go slow. Obviously, I'm just using this almost all the time when going fast. 20 initiatives is pretty good. The bottom fast move 5, that's our best non-burn move, lower level. So again, really strong card. But you're usually using this for the top. I have used it slow for the bottom to do like 1 damage. In a situation where there's one enemy, you just got 1 life left, and you want to land an attack on another one. I've done that once or twice, and it was super valuable. So I'm going to be putting this card in the A tier. Next up is Borrowed Time. This one I brought, yeah, for a while as well, up until like maybe level 5 when I got a pretty fast card to replace it with. But the top I never got going. I don't know. I never saw an opportunity where it felt like I needed to do something like that. Um, the fast 2 initiative is pretty much where this card's at. That's the main value I got out of this. Where I definitely wanted to outspeed the enemies, including the fastest ones. The bottom wasn't really that relevant in my 2-player campaign. So there was at least one scenario I can think of where I knew up front that I was going to have some NPC allies, and this ended up being very clutch towards the end of that. It actually ended up kind of winning us the scenario, and I was able to do something like a move 8 or something like that. It was pretty awesome. But yeah, mostly it was just just to go fast and maybe do like a default action. Um, so yeah, for that reason, it's still valuable. I'm going to put it in A. Next up is Cascading Reaction. This one I kind of slept on first few scenarios, but then I realized that not only is it a good initiative at 19 going fast, but the bottom move 4 fast and well move 3 slow was one of the better movement cards. With this character, you want to be able to move as much as possible. You're all about positioning. So aside from this move 4 fast, you have Blurry Jab, which is a move 5 fast, but you want to use that for the top. Then there's another card, Kinetic Transfer at level 1, that's a move 4. But that one has other utility as well. It has like a push on the top and then also a slow range. So it's like you want to hold on to that other card for that top purpose. And well, both of them, blurry jab and kinetic transfer. So that leaves no other card to fulfill like a move four. So this fills that gap, and it has a good initiative. And the top, the Blinkblade isn't that good at getting a whole lot of XP early on. So to use the top of this, two attacks as well with wound going fast, and you get 2 XP, one for each of the attacks. Um, Real good for like a last room kind of closer card to get yourself some XP, dish out some damage, throw some wounds, knock down the last couple enemies, and of course the bottom move is really good. So I'm going to put this in A, very high value, low level. Okay, next up is Drive Recharge. This is one of our first really good slow cards. The bottom, heal 2 self and then regenerate when going slow. Really good way to recover from some hits between rooms. I've typically heal at least like 4 from this. Maybe drop this right before I take a long rest. Get the regenerate on, regenerate another one during the long rest, and then another one in the turn after the long rest. So really good recovery card. Um, Top, very good. Early on, it's like one of the only ways to get um, time tokens beyond the 2 that you can get by going slow. You get a ward, which is nice. The bless, real nice. Just as playing tactician, like this would most of the time be the only card that I burn in a lot of scenarios, but it seems like there's always that at least one part in a scenario where you're kind of getting rushed. You got your back to the wall, and for the blink blade, it's like you just really don't have time uh, to wait for to go slow again to get some time tokens. This gives you a nice. You can get up to allows you to get up to 4 because you get your 2 for going slow. Then you throw this down, get a bless in your deck too, and then you're ready to rock for 4 fast turns in a row, and then do what you need to do to get yourself out of a sticky situation. So this one I bring all the time, even higher levels. So this is going to be my first S card. Experimental adjustment. One of my favorite cards. So much to say about this card. I mean, look at what all is going on with this card. The top, you gotta take 2 damage, but going fast, you go invisible, and you damage all enemies by 1 within range 2. It's super strong. I was never able to get the slow top going, the immobilize muddle. But it seemed like if I thought about it in conjunction with some other cards, it seemed like a really strong play. It's just there's so many other things to do with this card. You got 12 initiative 2. You got move 2, loot 1. I had used that so many times. Move 4, going slow, immobilize self. I got the mobilize immunity perk early on, so this was just a really good slow turn move for me. This is another S tier. I'm taking it every single time. Hit and run. I played it early on, but I didn't really get much use out of it. I've heard of some people using the bottom for like the moves, but I didn't see that I needed to move that much. It just seemed like overkill on the moves on the bottom, and then the top is good. You get to mobilize an enemy and then get away. If they're like a melee and you're trying to avoid a hit, but the initiative is bad. I just it was like an opportunity cost to take this instead of another stronger card, in my opinion. So this one's going into B tier. All right, kinetic transfer. Excellent card. I almost always bring this. Um, Top, so much going on here. It's yeah, great toolkit, able to push an enemy. So I'm bringing this whenever I see traps, at the very least. Even then, like very good against retaliate enemies. So if you hit them and push them away, they don't retaliate unless they have range retaliate. But in this case, it's a push 3. Now there are some retaliate range 3 enemies. So if you push them the maximum amount away, that'll put them at range 4. And if they have range 3 retaliate, they won't retaliate to you. So very good for that. The slow top, I believe this is the only um, slow move on top. I mean, it's only one, but still, that can make a difference. Um, and with the slow range attack, it's a nice thing to have just in case you need it. Initiative is not something you want to rely on. The bottom 4 move fast is great and get to do a little AoE damage 1, and then a slow move 3. The very bottom extra tool that it gives you to spend a time token to push 3. It only came up once for me so far, and it was very helpful, but it was still very extremely situational. Um, but yeah, very good card, and I'm gonna put it in A. All right, Overdrive. Yeah, this one I just don't see it being worth taking at all. Um, I just, I mean, I haven't played the entire campaign. Maybe there's a situation where you just need an absurd amount of jump to use the top loss persistent for this. Um, and the shield, while slow, I don't understand why you would want to be in a situation where you have to have a shield and then use a basically a loss card for that. And then the bottom, um, I just yeah, it seems good for retaliate enemies if you're facing a lot of them, but it seems like you'd have to be in position already because this is supposed to set you up to use some attacks on the top part of a card. So I don't know, I've never seen a scenario yet, at least, where I was like, oh, I wish I had that card. So I'm gonna put this in the C tier. Power Leak, very good card. 17 fast initiative. Um, Attack 4, possibly get 2 targets out of this. This I would rank this higher if I was in like a 3 or 4 player composition. That's going to be true for other like multi-target hit cards later on as well. But yeah, I just don't see the. I mean, obviously it's good, great value, but with just 2 player, sometimes you just have like one monster that you need to burn down, focus fire on, and then you move on to the next. So not only that, you're poisoning yourself. If you don't have a way to get rid of that right away, then that's even more damage coming at you. So I just, yeah, definitely bringing it a lot early and still very valuable, but less so for a 2 player, I thought. That's just me. Bottom move 7 loss, uh, really strong if you really need to be somewhere. The heal, I never used it, so that never came up. But still, excellent card overall, and I'm gonna put it in the A tier. Sand in the Hourglass. This ended up being a lot better than I thought. Um, the top, like going fast and slapping a wound on someone, and then guaranteeing 2 damage, and almost guaranteeing a third from the wound. This helped me deal with some annoying situations, especially annoying creatures like the snow imp and living spirits, where it's just you know want to deal with them and you want to just keep moving along. So if you can get like this guaranteed and not have to worry about drawing a miss or something like that when you're really need something to die. I Yeah, it was just very valuable. It kept coming up. I kept bringing it over and over again. Um, the light and dark element, um, whatever you want to call it, change into the opposite one. That never came up. Um, Initiative, the slow was very valuable too. Sometimes when I really wanted to go after some enemies, so that was good too. The bottom heal, it's also kind of like a little AoE heal. That was very helpful as well. It's a nice um, recovery card. So you have at level 1 like 3 cards where you heal that are non-loss. Um, and those other ones might be used up for their top action. So this one also was handy too to kind of recover. And then the fast being that spend a time token to play another card. I tried to get this to work. Sometimes it was helpful to kind of help burst something down, but it it became very more situational than I thought it would be. So, but overall, there's a few things here that are very valuable. So I'm going to put this in the A tier. Sap speed. Um, Here's another one that's probably better with 3 and 4 player groups. Um, yeah, attack 3 going fast with advantage and an XP for enemies that are adjacent to each other and to you. Yeah, that's really good. Initiative, not so good. In the bottom, immobilize. This is another one I just couldn't figure out when I could play this, but even just overall, like the top, there's I just found early on that there was too many other cards that I would rather have. So I would bring it for the first few scenarios, and then it just kind of trailed off. Found less and less use for it. Found that I was probably one of my first cards I was going to lose to arrest. Um, but yeah, I could see it being better with yeah, when there's more monsters out on our board in a 3 or 4 player situation. So I'm going to put it in the B tier. Temporal displacement. This one was very good, low level. I brought this along quite a bit. Um, yeah, loot on top. Uh, yeah, very good. Obviously, to be able to move on the bottom of something, and if you're going fast, you can move an extra 2 here. So if you think about it, they don't in the scenarios they don't make the chests convenient for you to grab. So if you combine this with say something like the bottom of Blurry Jab, which would be a move 5 fast, and then you combine it with this, which is a move 2 fast. That's a move 7 loot. That's pretty valuable to be able to grab, a bunch of loot tokens, the chest, something like that, and then the next turn just hightail it back the way you came. Initiative, not good. The bottom, very good. I think this is the only bottom attack for low level, like first level. So the fast ranged attack can be really good. I paired this with the kinetic transfer top against a retaliating enemy, and that worked out really well. Where I played the bottom of temporal displacement, hit them, they're within range 3, then top of kinetic transfer, move 2, um, attack 2, and then push them away. So that worked out really well. But most of the time I would actually use it for the attack bottom slow, pair it with twin strike top slow as a scenario opener. So go slow and then wait for the enemy to move to me. And if they moved up to me and hit me, then the next turn that I would go slow after them, I would get 3 attacks. So 2 for the top of twin strike and then temporal displacement bottom. That worked out really well. Um, And if they didn't move up close, then I would just use it as a move 2 default, and then walk up to him, hit him a couple times, and getting poison dagger on the first attack. So overall, very good card. It's almost an auto include for lower level, but I could see it being swapped out for something else, like a sap speed or some other card at first level. So I'm gonna put it in B tier. Twin Strike. We were just talking about this card. Yeah, another one of my favorite cards. 2 attacks on top, whether you're fast or slow. Of course, it's weaker if you're slow. A move 2 when you're fast with an XP. Keep in mind, like when you're level 1, if you're declaring fast, you have 4 cards that have a move 2 on top. So if you need to get somewhere and you need to combo this with a good move on the bottom, you can move pretty far with that. And this is one of those cards. So the the initiative 24 is, to me, that's been proven good enough. You're not going to beat everything in every situation, but most of the time it's favorable. The bottom is really good too. Move 3, which is good, and then you can, if you're going fast, add 2 pierce to all your attacks this round. Yeah, that's come up a few times is very valuable. And the going slow, move 1, heal 2, that's very valuable too. Just having that move 1, I noticed sometimes I noticed that I'm right next to like a pile of loot. And just getting that, if you're having like a recovery turn where you could just move 1 onto that and heal, that's a nice little combo when you're maybe at the end of a room or something like that, and you hadn't used the top for something. So a lot going on with this card, a lot of value. This one's going to S tier, and I'm taking this with me all the way up through level 9. Yeah, I want to take a minute to just recap the level 1 cards that I ranked. So we got 3 in the S tier, which is I'm bringing every scenario um, through all levels. I got 3 of them there. And then there's another 6 in the A tier, which I considered high value, and I'm bringing these all the time in like level 1, level 2, something like that. So that's about 9. You can bring one more card. For me, it's usually temporal displacement. But again, these are pretty much kind of like the sideboard right here for level 1, level 2. Even later levels too, it might be more situational, but consider these more sideboards throughout the entire Blinkblade career. Okay, let's move on to the level up cards. Level 2 cards, I'm going with Reckless Augmentation for this 2-player tactician build. The top fast is real good heavy attack with a little bit of pierce. Damage oneself doesn't seem to come into play that often, where it made me second guess whether I was going to play this card or not. And you get the 1 XP. By this point, you're kind of like, or at least I seemed to be struggling to get a bunch of XP with the character. So to have that additional XP gain was pretty good. 10 initiative is fantastic. That was very useful. Bottom move 3, damage oneself to ward self. That saved me maybe 2-3 damage on average. So it was pretty good. Get another XP for a move on the bottom. That's again another way to get some XP, especially if you pair it with an XP gain on another card on the top. Going slow. This is probably like one of the best slow cards at this point that you have. Attack 3 on the top with no slow drawback. That's pretty good. Move 3 on the bottom. You have some other move 3s, but the attack 3 on top is probably like the highlight for like a slow attack ability. Systems reboot is going to be for the slow blade. The bottom, You can remove all negative conditions you have. You can do a fast move 4. Um, you can spend a time token if you're slow to trigger the fast effect. So that's a screaming value for the slow blade. The top, recover a card. In a heal 4 self. It doesn't seem worth it for like a to play a loss to get a loss back. I just don't as a tactician I don't want to spend a lot of loss cards in my build, but so I'm going with reckless augmentation for my build. That's going to go into A tier, and then system reboot is going to go into the slow blade category. All right, level 3, um, double time. That's the one I picked. Very good top for the tactician in Blinkblade. Another multi attack top, just like or very similar to Twin Strike. Attack twice, and then you can move away, which is a nice option. Get an XP out of it. If you're going slow, you get 2 attack 2s, so not bad at all with that. 22 initiative going fast. That's good enough. Um, the bottom, yeah, opens up possibilities for some combo burst shenanigans. So that's really cool. I don't use that much with the way I play the bottom, but I could see why some people would want to, you know, use that. I mean, it's obviously with the Nova Blade build, we're trying to really pop off for a turn. Make it count. There's something missing about this card. There's a lot of enticing things about it. You get a heal on the top, going fast, get a bigger heal. Um, well, I mean, less of a target. And then if you go slow, you get a bless. The initiative is eh. The bottom, you get a bottom attack, which is nice. But if you go fast and move 1, from what I understand, like how this class works, you have to move 1. So you could be in a position where you're next to your target, and if you go fast, if the only spot that you can attack the target from is where you're at, this would force you to move away from the target. That's how I understand it. So if this was a move 2 on the bottom instead of a move 1, I would consider taking it. Um, but it just feels like it's missing something. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going double time. Double time. I'm going S tier. I'm taking that every single time. Make it count. I'm going to B tier. Level 4. Precision timing. I'm taking that one for the tactician build. Um, the top, I am probably not going to use that much. I mean, I haven't yet, except for one special scenario. But the bottom in the initiative, I think, is where it's at. 15 when fast, and then the bottom. So this is the bottom like attack with a move that I really like. So you get move 2, get an attack 2 with experience, and then another move 2. It seems like every time I use this, I get it makes it a very efficient um, set of abilities. Being able to after doing like a top attack or something like that, and then if I were to kill something with the top attack, I could then use the move 2 here to position myself and attack something else, and then move away. So having that combination of abilities like in that order has been super valuable. Um, Potential energy. This one, I just it seems good, and it seems better for the slow blade because you're more often going to have time tokens available or stacked up, stored up. So it's a good card, but I think it's just not for the as good for the tactician. I could see some people taking it for tactician, and I wouldn't blame them. But I just think precision timing fits better for what I'm trying to do. So precision timing, I'm going to put in the S tier, and potential energy I'm gonna put in B tier. Level 5, I took breakneck speed for my build. It was felt really close, like both of these cards, but I wanted to really get like another ultra fast card to replace borrowed time because I was pretty much just using borrowed time for the 2 initiative. So for this one, I have a 3 initiative with a teleport 5 on the bottom. I figured that's going to be like my go-to value with this card. And on the top, it looks like it's a lot of fun to use the top, but I haven't yet found an opportunity to really make use of this. Um, it just so happened the scenarios we've played, we've just been able to with our strategy just be able to take care of things and not have to rely on me playing 3 cards in a turn. But I do want to put it to use one time. That would be fun. Flashing Flurry, yeah, looks fantastic, but the initiative is kind of meh. The bottom AOE stun looks really nice. Um, but yeah, the top looks very enticing. Um, I'd probably lean towards this if I was in like a 3 or 4 player party. Um, yeah, it just looks really strong. But I went with breakneck speed. Both of these I put into A tier. Level 6, another 2 great cards. I went with Stab Them All. They kind of stick with my focus of kind of focusing down one enemy. So yeah, 3 attacks. If you go fast, you get a couple move 2s in between, and an experience, whether you play it fast or slow. 4 initiative, and then the bottom move 3, um, and maybe be able to get some attacks towards the enemies that stops towards you. So if you were to pair this with like a go invisible on the top with experimental adjustment, then that could be a nice play. There's so much good with this card. It's just difficult to pass up. Knife's Edge. That's really good. Again, that one is I might favor that one if I was going for like a 3 or 4 player um, composition. But that one looks really strong as well. Um, late initiative. Yeah, I don't know. I guess late initiatives could be really good, but I'm guessing you would want to play this for the fast um, portion of it. Anyway, they're both really good cards. Um, I'm putting Stab Them All in the S tier, and then Nice Edge in the A tier. Level 7. Um, these don't seem as good as the previous levels, but still have some value. I'm actually gonna take Phasing Blades here instead of going down back to level 5 or 6, because it might be more of like a sideboard card, but having that Pierce 3 on all your attacks, especially as you get higher and facing higher monster levels that has shield, that could be super valuable. By the way, my Blinkblade I leveled as high as 6. I'm about to retire the Blinkblade. I don't think I'm going to reach 7. So for the last 3 levels, I'm kind of going by theory crafting here in my experience in playing. But yeah, this Phasing Blades, I could see how this would have helped me in quite a few scenarios already. So I'm gonna lean towards that for this build that I'm talking about. There's also the move 4 on the bottom, and possibly get time token if 3 or more enemies adjacent to you. But I don't see that time token bonus happening with a 2-player that often. So overall, it's a very good, useful card and very, very, I think, high value if you're in a scenario with high shield monsters. Um, Rush to the end, strong attack, but I don't know if it's worth it to spend another time token to get like +3 to that attack. There's other ways to kind of burst. Um, so to have like another card like that with a so-so initiative and then the bottom um, movement, grant an ally, I I don't know. I don't see Rush to the End like being that important of a pick. So phasing blades, I'm gonna put in A tier. Um, it's situational, but it seems like it happens so often that you encounter shielded monsters, and then as you go higher in level, the more shielded they get. Since I see it so often, I'm going to put it in A tier, and then Rush to the End, I'm going to put it in B tier. All right, level 8. We're back to some really super cards here. I'm going with Quantum Uncertainty uh, solely for the bottom. So move 3 fast, go invisible, or move 2 strengthen self. How do we pass that up? If we have a next turn, it's going to be going fast with maybe 4 attacks, all advantage, strengthen. Uh, Fastest alive though is really strong, man. The top, um, but again, that's going to be more for, uh, well, for my play style. It'll be for like a 3 player, 4 player party when there's a lot more enemies on the board. The top, I could see combo that with uh, maybe like a previous turn of experimental adjustment slow on the top, where you do mobilize everyone within range 2, and then you can follow it up with this one and do an attack 4, target 3, and the bottom. Well, the initiative 1. I mean, that's the fastest initiative, and then a move 8 fast on the bottom. That's really good. Yeah, that's tough call, but I cannot pass up the bottom of quantum uncertainty. Um, so quantum uncertainty is going to be S tier for me, and fastest alive will be A. All right, level 9. Um, reverse the flow. That's the one I'm going with. This one is going to allow you to kind of open up like a bunch of possibilities for getting a bunch of attacks and different combos with using like breakneck speed to play 3 cards, and then you can have like another top card played, such as stab them all, and it's going to turn those little 2 moves into attack 2s, and then this card top action itself of reverse to flow allows you to play another card from your discard, the bottom, which could be something like precision timing. So there's move 2 attack 2 move 2, there's 3 attack 2s. Yeah, just it's a lot of fun, very effective to me, and too good to pass up. um, I probably wouldn't ever bother playing the bottom part of this. Just that's just me. Fractured Timeline looks like a lot of fun as well. Get to copy a monster on the battlefield and they're on your side, and a teleport 7 on the bottom. That looks good too, but I'm going with Reverse to Flow. That's going to be S tier for me, and Fractured Timeline will be A tier. Just to review the completed list now, I got 8 cards in the S tier that I'm always taking with me at level 9. And so 2 more that I can bring along. I'm probably going to bring Breakneck Speed for the 5 teleport. That's really good. Very useful. And the 3 initiative on fast. And then 1 card remaining. If there's shielded enemies, I'm probably bringing phasing blades. If there are none, then it might be kinetic transfer or reckless augmentation or blurry jab, one of those. Yeah, so that's the completed list for my level 9 Blinkblade. And now on to perks. All right, for the perks, I'll show you the first 8 that I took. Or actually, I mean, the first 2 were swapped. I ended up taking the remove -2 card first, and then the immobilize immunity. But if I were to do it again, I would do the immobilize immunity first. I think what happened was right when I took the remove -2 card, I think I was immobilized a couple times in that very next scenario. So it just stuck with me, the burn, having been immobilized and then basically having like a couple of wasted turns. I think the enemies were out of range because I was immobilized by some ranged attackers. So that was really frustrating. So yeah, I would do the mobilized immunity number 1, then remove the -2 card, and then get rid of the -1 cards for the following 4 perks. And then I went with the 2+2 rolling regenerate self. The regenerate part didn't really factor in that much, but just having a +2 rolling adding to the damage was really good. I took some more after that, I think 2 or 3 more perks. I ended up going with the replace 1 +0 card with um, the rolling place this card in your active area. On next attack, discard this to add +2. It was nice. I don't know if those are necessarily better than some of the other ones, like replace the 2+1 cards with 2+2. So I would just say the first 8 I felt pretty strongly about, and then after that, it's been kind of random. All right, as promised, I'm going to go through the Wombo combo of 22 attacks in a round with the level 9 Blinkblade. This will include cards that were not selected during the level up parts of this video. Okay, so it's going to be 2 rounds of setup, and then the third round will be the 22 attacks. Turn 1, you're going to go slow to get a time token. You're going to play breakneck speed top, and you're going to play double time bottom, so both losses. Turn 2, you're going to go slow again, get a second time token. You're going to play drive recharge top loss and hit and run bottom loss. You're also going to play a third card, which is allowed by breakneck speed, and it's going to be precision timing bottom, just to do a move 3 to get in a position to attack. Turn 3, you're going to go fast. You'll have 3 time tokens remaining. So card 1 that you're going to play is reverse the flow top, which is going to allow you to play a card from the discard pile. That card's going to be precision timing bottom. It's going to get you an attack 2 from reverse the flow, attack 2 from double time, attack 2 from reverse the flow, and an attack 3 from hit and run and reverse the flow. That's a total of 5 attacks. Card 2 you're going to play is Sand in the Hourglass bottom. You're going to spend 2 time tokens to play Stab Them All top, which is attack 2 from reverse the flow, attack 2 from double time and reverse the flow, attack 2 from reverse the flow, attack 2 from double time and reverse the flow, an attack 1 and an attack 3 from hit and run and reverse the flow. That's going to be 8 attacks. Another card from Sand in the Hourglass is going to be Twin Strike top. So attack 2 from reverse the flow, attack 2 from double time reverse the flow, attack 3, and attack 3 from hit and run and reverse the flow. That's 5 attacks. And then the third card you're going to play in that round from Breakneck Speed is going to be Make It Count bottom. It's going to be attack 1 from reverse the flow, attack 1 from double time and reverse the flow, attack 2, attack 3 from hit and run, reverse the flow. That's going to be 4 attacks. It's going to come out to a grand total of 22 attacks. Closing thoughts. Just had a lot of fun with this class, and I felt compelled to make a video where I can kind of nerd out about the cards and such. So thanks for watching. Thanks for checking us out. If you have any comments or your own thoughts on the tier list, whatever, please share them in the comments. And have yourself a nice day. Take care.